What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the MSF Insider segment for the Overachievers Gaming Podcast. Man, that's still a mouthful. We need to find something. We keep saying we have to do this.
I love it.
Better.
I love it. Keep it going. Keep
it going.
Long ass.
We got to add more segments to it and see what we can do.
Even more segments.
Just go with the OG podcast.
OG podcast, yeah, OG. We are the OG.
We are the OG
podcast. Yo, what's up? I am your host, Vash, aka Charlie, and we have our usual host on, Dami. I'm just not doing well. Not doing well.
Great. No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
And then back with us again so soon after the last one is Full Metal back from the UK. What's up, Full Metal? How are you doing today?
What's up, guys? I'm not sure if this is a huge compliment or if it's a testament to how much free time I have.
It's a huge compliment.
It might be both.
I think real quick. I think it's huge. The reason it's great to have you back is because I think you're the only positive figurehead on the Marvel Strike Force subreddit. I think that there's very few positive posts ever, and it's usually just you in some way.
Okay, I'll take it. I guess.
I think that's something to take a positive.
Don't read my comment history.
Yeah, maybe not that. Exactly. Sure.
Yeah.
Damn fair.
When it's not my post, I might be less positive.
Right. True. Now every single person is going to go through your comment history. You better go through. Yeah, you better go through. It's
going to be fantastic. Well, thanks again, Metal, for joining us yet again. How are things going since last time that we saw you a month ago?
Oh, it's going good, man. Well, there was a week of straight sickness, and it's completely thrown off my writing and stuff. I'm hoping that I'll have the Supernatural guide coming, because I was going to do Sinister Six. I promised everyone I was going to do Sinister Six, and I low-key hate Sinister Six with a passion. So I'm not doing Sinister Six. I'm doing Supernatural because they're way more fun to play with.
Sure.
And, you know what? If I write the guides, I'm going to be a little bit biased, and I'm going to go for the one that I find fun.
You know what? Go for it. Whatever is, the whole point of playing this game is to have fun, right? So there you go.
So if you are waiting for the Sinister Six guide, I'm terribly sorry, but you picked an awful dog to back because they're a terrible team.
Well, real quick, there was a nice thing that Casino mentioned, switching out Green Goblin for Cable. Cable resets the turn meter, and it actually makes that a kind of fun little addition to that. You're right, very whack team. I don't know, but you're right. They are very boring. Nothing fun in them at all. Sinister Six sucks. So
yeah, no, I Sinister Six. You need tons of T4 investment, and they're just not worth it. They're just
what's a crazy? I'm almost done with my Fantastic Four, and I will have to say, they require a ton of T4 investment. I'm almost completely done.
They're good. They can do things.
Yeah, true. They can.
Fantastic Four are worth the T4. Sinister Six are just like, I've just thrown T4s down the toilet. It's not the same.
Yeah, that's you're not wrong with that. So, I totally understand and see that sentiment with that completely. So, it is what it is. But anyway, so let's do a recap of the week with what we have going on. So this week we had for Blitzes, we had Mr. Sinister × 2. So if you first up was the first Mr. Sinister run through, and if you didn't get him the first time, currently going on right now is the Mr. Sinister's Blitz happening for the second time. And I want to talk about something real quick about that they implemented for this run, which I was very happy about, is they included the shards on the second go around, like for instead of just the orbs and whatnot. I think that's what they should do all the time, because to be completely honest, like that made it worth it. Like, I understand that it's, we talked about beforehand that you think, since he's 100 shard unlock, that's fine. I think they did because he's a clone creator or whatever. So they did it to let him, he's cloning the, whatever you call it.
Cloning the first week splits.
Yeah, exactly. But honestly, like, I think that's what it should be like the entire time, because I feel like it would be better.
They should give you things that they never do. Yes.
I was mostly surprised when it came to Mr. Sinister the first time, is that they included the new target percentages, which they were talking about adding to Blitz. They actually added those for the Mr. Sinister Blitz. And I thought when they said, it'll come next week, they were going to do it after the Mr. Sinister Blitz. But I'm genuinely impressed, because if you get like 1 to 2% now, it's like 55 shards.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, that's like I think like the top 2,000 or something like that is around like 14 million, which is insane. And so like you could do 8 million or something like that, and you'll be fine. You can get up there, which I think is it's not ideal, but like you can definitely do it for sure.
How do they change blitzing so that it's not this insane crapshoot that you have to do every 2 hours that like people are like not going to sleep?
Back to 6 hours is what they should do. That's what it used to be. 6 hours
really?
was the OG blitzing, and honestly, I think that's what it should be because that would bring the numbers way down, and it also lets us focus on playing the game less.
Having a
6 hours, right? Exactly. Like it's an insane ask to have someone be doing this shit every 2 hours. Like people, the fact that people that are like who are trying to get the top 1,500 are waking up every 2 hours. That's insane to me. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to say that.
They're botting, which I don't agree with. But
there's botting. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah. Oh, you kidding me? Yeah, definitely botting.
Of course. Well, I don't know why. Why would I not suspect that? There's botting in every game that's ever existed.
If you can macro it, you can bot it.
Yeah.
And it's played on BlueStacks, so.
The shitty thing about that too is anyone who does that, like they would, if that was the reason that like the API stuff, or not API, but the reason that we couldn't use like BlueStacks or Nox or anything because of botters, I would be livid. I would think that would definitively probably get me off this game is if I couldn't use a desktop application.
Oh, I'm sure there'll probably be ways to do it in the future if that's the case. But yeah, I mean, botting's been a thing. Like that was a big issue a few years ago. Not a few years ago. A year ago.
Right.
Feels like a few years ago. But yeah. And anyway, continuing on. We the other blitz that we had this past 2 weeks have been the Thing, which I don't know about you guys, but I got him just shy of 7 stars. So I was pretty happy about that because I pushed really hard for his campaign.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four has been a team that I've been working on for a long time, and I've just finished almost all of them. I have 4 out of 5 at level 70, tier 13, with all of their T4 abilities done. I'm just need a couple more pieces of alloy, I think it is, for Mr. Fantastic, and that's it. So
that must be a banging squad. I mean, I've not got nearly that high, and they're already brilliantly reliable. So
yeah, they're at like 260k, something like that, something silly, and they can punch up easily 150k in war. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
like I can take out pretty much anybody who might want to. Like just having that T4 on there goes my camera again. Okay.
I think you turned that off.
I tried to fix it, but then it just doesn't want to do it anymore. Yeah, having that T4 on Human Torch is special, and then his ultimate just like you just destroy. If he gets to his ultimate, the match is done. So
yeah, and I missed getting Invisible Woman last time, so hopefully now the next run I'll be able to.
Yeah, well, I think that she's coming around. It's either going to be her or Nick Fury for the next run, which I'm hoping it's her. I'm hoping it's Nick Fury because then I still need to get a 7-star Nick Fury. I've just been slacking on spending money on all my people because I've been working on getting them all to. Working on getting my U7 raid team up to 75 and whatnot. So, which has been quite the grind for all this. So, sorry, I'm dying over here. Anyway,
I need about 80 shards of Mysterio, and I'll have Invisible Woman at 7 stars.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm about 200 shards away with Shocker and about 150 with Mysterio, and then I'll have her.
I should really start dumping now into Sinister 6 just in case it is her next.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wish that we had a calendar in which we could tell like what's coming up soon. That would be great.
I think they do that on purpose so that you're forced to buy stuff.
I already buy gold orbs. I already buy gold offers. Why not?
Yeah.
It's panic spending, though, isn't it? If they tell you what's coming, you can plan. If they go, oh look, it's Star-Lord next, and you go, well, my Groot is 80 shards away. They can go, well, look at this offer for 80 shards of Groot. Isn't this lovely?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's just dumb. I'm gonna go back to start playing Future Fight again because I feel like at least they give you a heads up with what's going on. But that's neither here nor there. But anyway. The other news for these past 2 weeks is Psylocke is finally available in Cosmic 3-6, which I was very excited about. I have her at 6-star. Yeah, I'm about 100. I'm about 100 shards away from getting her completely at 7 stars, which I'm very excited about because then she's the last person I need to have outside of Cyclops, which R.I.P. I don't know if he'll ever come back.
I mean, wasn't it just data mine stuff about Cyclops?
Was it? No, it's like no. I'm sorry, Colossus.
Oh,
sorry,
Colossus.
Colossus. Sorry, I misspoke. That's my bad.
Yeah, I heard that Beast and Colossus or Cyclops were a rumor recently, but
there's images of the character models have finally been data mined.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But
right? Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't know when they'll come through. My guess is 3.8, but we'll see because we have 3.7 coming next week. But we'll see what happens with all that. But anyway, having Psylocke available to farm in Cosmic 3.6, I think, is very good for new players and old players alike, whatnot. One of the big things. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, Psylocke's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
she's actually a really strong character in her own right. She's good, obviously on the X-Men because of her passives and things really synergize well. But also, if you don't have a strong X-Men team, if you don't have Phoenix yet, she's very, very good in hero brawlers.
Yeah,
as well.
Solid.
So I like Psylocke. I'm a fan.
Yeah. Well, the big thing that I want to talk about that's coming out next week is the 3.7 update, which brings us to the Asgardians finally coming to the game, the full-on 5 team of Asgardians, which we still need more save slots. I don't know about you guys at this point, but anyway, adding to the game is Sif and Heimdall. Sif is the protector of the Asgardians, giving some taunts and counters on taunt, and with everybody maxed out with their passive abilities, with Heimdall, Sif, Loki, Thor, and Hela, everybody heals at 25% per turn. I don't know about you guys, but I am going to be going all in on the Asgardians this run because
I'm looking forward to them a lot.
Okay, I know. I thought that was being negative.
Yeah,
oh man,
I thought so
you have me hanging. I was like, oh, you what?
25% health, self-healing per turn. Plus, you've got Hela's undead Asgardian when it dies. So any AoEs when that kicks it, he's healing up the team as well. They're going to be an absolute nightmare on war defense.
I will say there is something weird. I do find. I find it really weird that Sif is the tank and not Heimdall. Like Heimdall is the protector of the Rainbow Bridge, the first Asgardian you see when you come into Asgard. Like he is the all-seeing, all-knowing god, and like I feel he's always, I don't know. I just think it's weird that he's like this a brawler attacker. I mean, he does got some good skill. He is like OP in like both cinema and comics, but I don't know. I thought that was weird, but I mean, it's not like I'm gonna like dislike them as playing them. I just thought like lore wise weird, but also super excited. Those are 2 dope characters.
How do you feel, if you don't mind me asking, how do you feel about the fact that they went for the MCU Heimdall rather than the comics Heimdall?
I don't really ever care about that stuff too much, to be honest. I love Idris Elba, and I thought he played a great Heimdall, so I'm not like upset about that.
I just found it weird because they went for MCU Heimdall, but then the Sif is very much more comics inspired than
probably
MCU.
Like realistically, Sif isn't a character that most people probably remember, and if they want a more mainstream like player base, it makes more sense for them to go after the cinematic universe stuff.
Yeah, but then why didn't they use Jamie Alexander for Sif? Because we recognize her.
Yeah, the thing is, it's based on the MGU, not the MCU or the comics. So the Marvel gaming universe has its own thing going on with it.
Sure.
And so Disney has its own say in how they want their characters portrayed in games. That's why a lot of the character models within Marvel Strike Force look exactly like they do in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. So that's one of the very first things that I noticed, especially like playing that game for the very first time. I was like, oh, this is literally like pulled from Strike Force into Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and I looked into it. That's because like they want their character models to be unanimous across the board. Yeah,
that's interesting.
So that's why that's the case. Whether or not how they pulled that, it is what it is. I mean, Nick Fury has adapted over the comics through and through, as well as they pulled more from the MCU and molded it into the
Fury in the MCU was
the ultimate,
it's based on the ultimate version of Fury, which was designed to look like Sam Jackson.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing is like, I feel like you should pick the characters to be the most recognizable. Like, I don't even remember. Like, you just told me Jamie Alexander played Sif in the movies.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Yeah, I didn't remember that because it's a character I don't. You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect to Jamie Alexander, but like, when I like at this point in time, when I think of certain characters, I almost certainly think of them noteworthy characters per se, or specifically to like the celebrity that played them.
Mhm.
But when I think of Sif, it was just such a not meaningless character in the movies, but like she wasn't that big a deal, and like I
don't
think
remember where she
it
was.
hurt her that she didn't make it into Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I mean, if she had made it into Ragnarok, she'd probably be dead. But
right, she'd be dead. Exactly, she'd be dead.
But she didn't get to Ragnarok, which was the big Thor movie. The first two were very much considered to be less successful. The second one was funny.
I actually enjoyed Dark. I mean, that's neither here nor there, but I think that it makes more sense to pick the characters that have like big names behind them, you know. But I mean, who knows, right? You know what I mean? Who knows what goes behind their head in that? Team looks great though. Like the gameplay footage that has dropped, like cool. Like the new animations for Thor look nice too. Like dropping the hammer down and stuff, and like
I like how they addressed his speed issue.
Yeah.
By whenever an enemy attacks another Asgardian, his speed bar increases. So it's an interesting mechanic they did, as opposed to just say, "Oh, he's just going to get speed up all the time."
Yeah.
They made it that way, which
and also he has out of turn attacks as well because he gains charged every time an ally gets hit. And when he hits five charges, he generates an ability energy for himself and hits all enemies, and then removes the charged.
Yeah.
So if you're not hitting Thor, he's gonna hit your entire team.
Yeah, which has led me to start working on Thor because he is sitting at a cool level 32 and 4,000 power right now. So I'm very excited.
You know what they did as well? The big one, they made his hammer throw actually chain by default, which just didn't make sense that it didn't do.
Yeah, I've never worked on Thor, so like now I wish it is like obviously I didn't really do it so much because I didn't come in when OG Avengers were strong. So like I'm sure people who like have that, like good for you. Like now you got are already strong Thor coming in, but now it's time to work on that, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I'm rocking a 5-star Thor right now with 4 red stars, so he's okay, but he's gonna get some love.
Yeah, I'm sat on a 5 red star Thor, looking all smug.
Yeah, there you go. Unfortunately, I only have 3 red stars on Hela, which I had to buy all 3
because
I got 0 red star pulls for Hela.
I've got 2 on Hela, and I'm waiting for the 3rd one to appear in store.
Yeah, I just opened up 100 goddamn orbs with Casino, and I got no Hela, that was a bummer.
Bummer, dude. But you know what? That's what happened. So, what do you guys think about having? I mean, we just kind of had a quick explanation of that. But what do you think about the kits for Sif and Heimdall? With Sif seems very interesting with providing counters on taunts, and I like the fact that she'll do that as well as deflects, if I believe, if I remember correctly.
There too, yeah.
And then Heimdall giving, preventing all Asgardians from getting blinded at all times, which I think is interesting.
The funniest thing about that is he's blind right now in the comics. That makes it even more ironic. Yeah, but obviously they didn't. I doubt they actually thought about that, but I do like that ability. All seeing and stuff.
Yeah, it's a good play on what is traditionally his power set, which is that he sees everything. So I like it, and the focus is huge. Like the 30% focus for him and the entire team. Yeah. That's nice.
Huge. Yeah, as well as that. Doesn't he also have like 200% chance to hit as well? So even if he does get blinded, it still doesn't matter. Or something like that.
He's gonna he shouldn't be able to miss if they're playing it close to the character. But he also has like heal block. He clears heal block from himself and his allies. He clears stealth from the enemies. He's for a brawler, he's got tons of utility.
I was gonna say, for a brawler, there's a lot of utility there, like a lot.
And the thing that I like best about Heimdall coming to the game is they're releasing him in an event campaign, which I think is the best way to go.
Always should be event campaigns. Always. I love the event campaigns.
I understand that they have if they're trying to release characters, they'll probably do 1 through event campaign, 1 through Blitz. probably do. I wish they would give us like a tower or something like that, so that way we can then work towards that. Just to give us another event
But
to
like the
work
thing about Blitz,
towards.
though, I'm still not going to get Mr. Sinister, and I'm getting a second Blitz with him.
Yeah,
like, I'm still not going to get
unlock him.
I gotta confess, I bought Mr. Sinister.
That's fine, and like that's what they want. That's why this shit is the way it is. But
yeah, I did that for Mr. Sinister and Strife, and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of glad I only bought one offer on both of them, because like after playing against a bunch of people who have like 70k Mr. Sinisters in War, easily able to clear them, not a problem.
Yeah.
So
see, Mr. Sinister for me, it's not been about the war. It's the addition to my arena squad. Yeah, it's sure. Like, oh, I have 2 Phoenixes. You lose.
Yeah,
yeah. There's that.
Yeah, true.
So I've got a 50k 3 red star 4 yellow star Sinister at the moment, and he's a lot of fun. It's just fun having 2 Phoenixes. It's just dumb.
Well, also being able to use Red Skull finally too.
Yeah. Yeah, Red Skull has made it into the game, and you can play as Red Skull by cloning him with Mr. Sinister.
Yeah,
so there
exactly.
Continuing on, speaking of the Asgardians, there's a new legendary character on the horizon with Black Bolt, who is going to be the king of the Inhumans, which I'm excited to hear more about, because I only know of Black Bolt through the comics, which I have a brief encounter with. But the thing that's interesting, though, is he's going to require 5-star Asgardians, and right now you have the only ones that are farmable right now are Loki, Thor, and that's it, I believe.
Wait,
the
what
moment.
is Loki farmable in? What am I missing here?
Loki is in Mystic 3-6.
Yeah.
But, I don't have that unlocked. That's why.
You got to start working on your campaigns.
Take a Supernatural team. Supernatural absolutely destroy the Mystic campaign, even at low power.
Yeah, you can do the entire Mystic. You don't have to, man. As long as you have a Mystic team of at least like 80k, it'll go through and do the entirety of the whole thing. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll probably. There's so much. That's the thing is, for me coming through in behind, I've been just focusing. Now I finally finished my power armor. Like they're strong now, and then I've been focusing on Brotherhood. They're like kind of strong, so I'm just still like playing catch up to every team. You know what I mean?
Real quick, I'm going to give you a team that you can work on, Dom, with your Brotherhood that'll help you clear some teams in War. Are you ready for this?
Oh, please do.
All right, so this is the team that I use quite often in War. This is a little tip for everybody else, for mainly clearing Menardians, and like this team can punch up 100k if not more with this team. So the team is Juggernaut, Kingpin, Magneto, Crossbones, and Pyro.
That's hilarious.
And the reason being is, so you want to ult first with Magneto to get everyone blinded, so that way they can't, their opening turns for Rocket and Star-Lord are their big ultimates, which or special for Rocket and ultimate for Star-Lord, which everyone calls assist. So essentially, if you don't blind them, everybody's dead essentially. And then you want to taunt with Crossbones. You want to use your basic with Pyro. You'll taunt with Juggernaut as well. And then by that point, Kingpin will use his ultimate, which gives defense up and offense up to everyone, in which you'll be able to survive the Rocket ult that's going to come immediately after that. And then you have offense up for Crossbones for his ultimate, his Juggernaut's ultimate with his charge, and then you have you have offense up for Pyro for his special. So essentially, everyone's going to get cleared out the board.
Dang.
So
that's
it's pretty good.
Like what a like Kingpin and Crossbones, like two like worthless ass characters essentially.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it makes it very
good.
I was just trying to figure out a place to use Kingpin for a while, since I have a 6 red star Kingpin. And I was like, where can I throw him in that's like not garbage? And I was like, oh, wait a second, let me try this out, because I was looking at old videos that I had on Dropbox from a year ago of just trying to help out some people. Like, yeah, look at this, Kingpin ult with Crossbones.
That's nice too, with losing the Marauders, losing
yes, exactly, with Mystique and Sabretooth, the Marauders.
Interesting.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, a little hot tip for you there.
No, it's good. I mean, so I at this point, I want to do Supernatural, but I also want to do AIM. I've been doing AIM on the side, very tiny little bit, because I know that AIM is really nice and more too these days.
Yeah,
my aim is still so low. What I've been doing is, the daily quest where you've got to equip 1 piece of gear and 1 level up.
I'm doing that
as you work. Yeah, I do that with an aim character every day.
Yeah.
So it's like 1 piece of gear, 1 level up on Graviton. You're gonna get to 60, you're gonna get to T8, and then we're gonna move to the next character, and eventually I'll have an aim team.
Yeah, same. I had them at 55K right now. So that's the thing is like, I still have Mystic not fully unlocked, and like I should probably do that just to have that unlocked, like actually do like Loki and stuff. But every day there's like, oh, you should do this. You should do that. I get different like people like you should do this. I'm like, all right, well, I'm at least comfy now where I have 3 very strong teams for both war and also like doing my U7 and U6 and like any of the ABCs. I'm more than fine. Yeah, it is a difficult little thing though to see where to go next and like how to actually do it, but
it's so very specific to each person's account. Like, there's no one who can just go, you have to do this squad or this team.
Yeah.
Because, depending on your red stars, your development of certain characters, your availability of what you can farm, no one can tell you what you need more than you. That's why I try and when I do my guides, I try and say, so you want to build this team, they're there for when people come to me and go, okay, this is the character I want to build up. This is the team I want to build up.
Right.
How do I do it? And it's not saying this is the new team. This is the team that you have to play. When I do Supernatural, I'm not going to be saying everyone needs to get out there and farm Supernatural. It's a case
I don't
of
have Ghost Rider still too. That's fine.
you want to do Supernatural. Okay, well, this is how you do it.
Yeah,
and that's always been the kind of the way I've tried to present it. A lot of the other content creators, because obviously they want to create hype on the videos and get clicks on the new things, they have to put a certain level of urgency into each team. But I get the because there's no way to monetize my written content really. It's I'm just doing it because I love doing it.
You should.
That's not taking a shot. I'm not taking a shot at anyone to say that. I understand why they have to do it because that's their business, right?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, what you should do if you want to kind of start doing it, you should just do a rundown. Like, you just have your roster open, and like, even though you have your guide up, you just do a rundown with your roster, like on like with OBS, and just do a YouTube video of it. If you want to read about it, here it is. And you can literally just go through and talk it through. I mean, that might be a great way to start that. I'm just saying.
It's true. It's true.
Probably take you an hour or so to go through and do it. Maybe do a little bit longer for a little bit of editing and whatnot. Get some graphics going. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that's a $1 million idea right there. I know. That sigh. I know that sigh. You're thinking like, man, that's just one more thing I have to.
What I'm thinking is, I don't know if feel like I was betraying the guys who have followed me all the way through, because it's like the reason they like to click on my guides is because it is a written guide. It's something different. It's something that nobody else is doing. Yeah, I'm cornering a niche in the market, is what I'm trying to say.
I totally understand, but I'm still saying, like, if you want to add that one more step to it, it's very
if I want
to
get that $50 red star money in my pocket,
Hey, you know what? If it helps you get that extra red star for you to like talk about your teams, you go.
People that follow you, dude, they're gonna follow you regardless.
Yeah.
People that are into you and like your stuff. If anything, this is just one more thing that they can get hype on. That someone that they like and follow is doing. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it's a good idea. I think you should do it.
It's just you just experiment on the next one. You're doing it already. You might as well just go through and like kind of give a breakdown. You don't have to do graphics. You can just have it so it's just like, hey, here you just rosters open, blah blah blah. This is why I'm thinking about blah blah blah.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Anyway, bringing it back around with the legendary character of Black Bolt. What do you guys feel about that new mechanic they're having, where characters killed by Black Bolt cannot be revived?
I didn't even know that's a thing.
Yep, that is a thing.
Yeah, they haven't released his full kit. They've just released the one teaser, and it's that because of his sonic energy and stuff, he just destroys the bodies of the people he attacks.
Yeah.
So they can't be brought back to life. The only exception being Phoenix, because it's not a revive, it's a summon.
Yeah. Okay.
I think Black Bolt's going to be fantastic for Arena, for countering Ultron. It's just interesting that like. I just think it's interesting that they're starting to bring out these teams that are countering other teams. So, like, they introduced Spider-Verse to counter Shield, and then Sinister Six to counter City and Defenders. It's interesting that they're coming out with these teams to kind of do counters of different characters now that everybody else has like, there's what, like 70,000 Ultrons now that have been unlocked at this point.
I'm actually curious of the statistic there.
But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. I like the fact that they're coming out with different counters because it makes it more interesting.
Well, but also everyone has like Ultron. Like, man, Ultron makes it a bummer for me because even though I'm a lower tier player, it doesn't really matter so much in war and stuff like that because I still have strong teams that could do stuff. But whenever there's an Ultron team and we're attacking, like let's say I'm active at that time, and if Hanger is marked and every team there has a goddamn Ultron, I can't do anything.
Power armor, man. Power armor utterly monsters Ultron. It's so
I've been
beautiful.
too afraid. I've been so afraid to even touch
Ultron. It's so beautiful.
No.
Turn one ability block on Ultron with vision, so he can't summon.
Okay.
Turn one with rescue, hit her special to if everyone get the shields up.
Is it just doing the same thing as if you were going against
use your basics with everyone apart from Falcon, who uses his special as well. So you don't with Iron Man you use your basic, with War Machine you use the special on whoever's got the most health on the team.
Right.
I actually save his special for later because of the offense up on turn 2.
It depends on the matchup. If you aren't too far difference in power level, there won't be anyone left alive.
Well, is it still a punch up? You could punch up though, or no?
Yeah, no, I punch up like 60, 70k. With mine,
I haven't really heard about that suggestion because I've always just been too afraid to even touch into Ultron because I don't have Ultron.
It's so good. Like when rescue gets a roll, everyone gets a fence up. You lay down Falcon ult, you lay down Iron Man special, you lay down War Machine ult, and everything's dead. And then
I mean I've punched up about 100k with against defenders. I punched up hard with them on defenders, but I never thought about it.
Yeah, and then you get Iron Man ult just in time for Ultron revives, and Iron Man just ults him in the face. Just finishes him off, and you're done. Power armor are quickly becoming my favorite team in the game.
Oh yeah, I love power armor. It's so funny because I do. They're a great team. I'm lucky
and I'm happy that Falcon is now farmable. I'm very close to having a 7-star Falcon. So
I have a 5 or 6 red star War Machine.
Ooh, that's gonna sting. His ult is so good.
Yeah. Stupid. Yeah. I'm actually thinking about, I use Falcon for my Ultimate 7. I'm actually thinking about, just because I have him at like 75k, I'm actually thinking about putting his basic, I have his Ultimate tier 4. I'm thinking about putting his basic at tier 4 just because his basic, there's like somebody has defense down and like one buff, like a taunt or regen or something like that. Nice. The double hits now for like 120k. So huge. It's definitely it hurts quite a bit.
Yeah.
But so next time, honestly, try Power Armor and Ultron, and it's
give it a go.
It's such a good matchup.
Yeah, it's being in Legion's a time to learn.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ronan. I know he listens to this podcast, so there you go. So what do you guys think about the new team for the Asgardians? I personally think they're going to be fantastic for raids as well as war defense. With the 25% heal, it's going to be insane. Because like facing a Captain Marvel now with a 20% heal is like it's impossible to kill her.
It's pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's like when you have to take like Hand Assassin is like my go-to. As soon as I see Captain Marvel, I'm like, come here, my little 40k Hand Assassin that I used to unlock.
Hand Assassin and Korath are my 2 that I use on Captain Marvel. Yeah. So, but like, man, we've fought a couple like 120k Captain Marvels recently in war, and it's been hard to kill that thing, man. She just destroys. But
you watch them like entire teams bounce off this one character who's left alone. Like she's the sole survivor of the squad, and then teams bounce off her, and you're like, this is mean. This is really mean.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I wanted to ask about you guys, you may have noticed this medal, Dom. I don't know if you might. You probably don't fit this category. I'm sorry, but did you feel like they buffed Ultimate 7 at all?
I've only done about 4. I think we started the week after I was on the podcast with you guys.
Yeah.
And we're literally doing 30% and done once a week.
So since we last recorded, I left MCU Hydra. There's a whole thing that happened. We were supposed to have Mystic Mac on again today, but he is unfortunately sick and unable to record today. So thankfully, Metal, you came back on to help us out. But essentially, there's this big whole drama where the MCU, which is the cluster that Dom and myself are a part of, had a big changeover, and I was going to leave the MCU to go to a different cluster, or not cluster, but just a different alliance. And then Mystic Mac ended up coming into the MCU to help bring it back up, and we'll probably hear more about the MCU and whatnot coming back around as some of hopefully in the future will be some bigger tiered stuff. Anyway, long story short, so I've now been a part of that alliance, and now we're like top 20 in raids and whatnot. We've been top 5 for Alliance War for the past 2 weeks, or past 2 wars cycles, so month, I guess. And we've been doing 40%, 45% with U7, and once a week we'll push for 60 and see how it goes and everything like that. But so with that, I've gotten really comfortable with, like, okay, I know this team can clear this. Like, my teams for U7 is essentially, it's the tech wing. So that is Shuri, Falcon, Minerva, Scientist Supreme, and Ultron. And everybody's at 74 with the exception of Ultron, who's at 75. Everyone's tier 13. Some of them I have like halfway geared to tier 14, which we'll talk about in a little bit for DD3. And I found that, like, it's the difficulty has ramped up like significantly. Like, I am doing way more revives than I was originally. Like, I'm having Gamora, I think on one of the nodes, I think like number 4 or 5, will one shot my 75 Ultron with defense up with her ultimate.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
so, I don't know if you guys are seeing that same, but like,
I can only clear one node, and that's with 2 teams. I have to have a bait team.
Yeah.
And then I use my BKT. That's the
See,
only way.
I just cheat. I just have a team with Phoenix on and revive Phoenix every node. it's easy.
That's the way. That's definitely a way to do it. But like, I'm just having this issue where, like, I used to be able to like auto all the way up until the second boss. Now I have to play the node because it's gotten ridiculous. Like, I'm just having characters just get wrecked, like, out the gate. Like, the only reason why I haven't taken Shuri off my team is because she has a defense up for 2 turns out the gate, like, before anyone else goes, and that's the only way I can survive these nodes. So anyway, just an observation. I feel like they buffed U7 because we've learned in the past about them buffing the Greek raids and all that sort of stuff. So, which was actually interesting. I don't know if you guys heard about the quick tangent real quick, that they accidentally switched one of the nodes from a Wakandan team to an AIM team.
Yeah, it was like Graviton. It turned all the bosses into Graviton for 1 day or something.
Yeah, it was like 4 hours or something like that, and like they quickly reversed it.
That's
but
hilarious.
I just observation. Thought was
apparently it was easier, but you got less points, so not worth.
To say the least. To say the least.
Okay, this is what I want to ask other players, because I obviously we only have within my own alliance. I'm not totally active outside of like the Reddit posts and stuff. Is anyone else just really bored of the Greek raids? I just see them come up and I'm like, I just don't want to do it. The rewards are awful.
Well, I used to be excited when I was like brand spanking new, and I was like, oh man, I love brawlers. I can't wait to do like what is Gamma for most like brawlers, whatever that one is.
Alpha right now.
Alpha. Well, no, but I mean that like gives you
brawlers is better, and Alpha is villains. And...
Well, so like I would be all excited, and then I would get the
the gold orb is nice. I like that. I'm a big fan of the gold orb.
Yeah, true. Very true.
But maybe it's my own fault. Maybe it's because I'm at like the point where I've got like 58 6-star, 7-star characters now. So I just open these character orbs. I don't even do them as they pop anymore. I do them like I'll wait till the end of the Greek raid and then pop like 10, 15, 20 character orbs at once and go, oh look, I got 3 Ultimus orbs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
That's not a bad way to do it. I should probably start doing that. It'd be more fun. But yeah, no, I agree. I liked when they used to have like the Thanos raid or the Deadpool raid. Like, bring back the character raids. Like, that's what we want. I know a lot of people have been saying that too. Just bring it back. It's not hard.
Yeah, maybe a new one. It would be. It's just a nice way to introduce a new character.
Sif. Give us a Sif raid.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe. I'd be on board with that.
Yeah.
But anyway. And then finally to finish off the recap, wow, it's a 40-minute recap. Well, great. Is the Black Friday deals. And if you can't see me because you're listening to a podcast, I'm doing air quotations. The deals.
It does look great. I mean, it's
terrible.
It's a great job for us.
It's
you guys hopefully will appreciate it, but no, the deals are shit.
Deals? Question mark.
Did you see the one, the post on Reddit the other day where it was like, guys, a deal is like a 4K TV, like a 56-inch 4K TV that was $800 and is now $400.
Exactly.
It's not a 4K TV that was $800 and is now $800, but I get a speedboat.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly. I think it's ballsy too that everyone is like, oh my god, we love the calendars. We love the calendars. Thank you. More calendars, cool calendars. And now there's random offers for calendars.
But they're not good calendars.
Buy a gold calendar. I know
1 million over 7 days is not. That's not a good offer for $15.
For $5, sure, that's a good deal. 15, no, come on.
I don't even know for $5.
Still bought it.
You bought it? You actually bought it? You bastard.
I have to, dude. Like I'm trying to be competitive.
Gold doesn't exist in the game, so I understand why he bought it. I didn't do it, but I understand why you did.
Man, I just went from 72 to 73 for my rocket just because I want that extra power, and I went from 1 million gold to like 300k. I think it was like seriously 600k to do that upgrade.
The deal that got me right was did you see the one where it's like you get a 4-star character if you spend $20 or whatever?
That I saw, and then they also have one.
And it was like it had Colossus in. That's 180 shards of potentially Colossus, which is a great deal for $20, right?
Yeah.
Except it's not Colossus. It's a 20% chance of Colossus, and you might get Punisher or
I'm gonna go ahead and say though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say though that even if it was $20 for 180 shards of just Colossus, I still think that's a shit deal because this is not $20 for an expansion, a DLC, any of those things. Which like that used to be a complaint in video games. Oh my god, $20 for these like extra like 20 hours of gameplay. No. That's $20 for shards of a fucking character in a mobile game. Like,
but it's not gonna ever be that good. It's normally
not even that good. It's still not even that good
for 55 shards of him or something. That's what the normal is.
And that's what kills me.
I feel bad for our Aussie
this
brethren.
Game. It's right. Exactly. It's true. That's the only thing I will ever really shit on is the audacity that a company can put out a sale like that when you're not even getting something that's guaranteed to give you like what a hilarious time to be alive. Like seriously, 7 years ago, whatever, I was complaining about $20 DLC for 20 hours of a gameplay, like, or something. And now it's $20 for a 20% chance of getting a character you need in the game.
But you know what? That's not even the worst deal.
It's not
Did you see the Red Star deal where it was hero brawlers or whatever, and it was one of 6 hero brawlers you'd get between 3 and 5 stars. Yeah, so it randomly picked one of the 6 characters, and then it randomly picked whether you got them at 3, 4, or 5 stars.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, it's insane.
If it was just 5 stars for maybe one of them, that Dude, would still be terrible because it's
the other day. There was a $2 deal the other day for like 50 Drax shards, I think it was. Did you guys see that in the store?
I did not know. I heard about the
Max Drax. You didn't see the offer, so it was only presented to you because your Drax is in 7-star.
See that should be there constantly. Things
like
that, like $2 for a bunch of shards. I'll do that.
Did you see the one Hella Orb for a book?
I did not see that.
I did see that. That was great.
No, I didn't see that.
20 Hella shards. I was over the moon.
I got 6.
Oh god!
But you know what? You still don't feel terrible. It was a book, right? It was a single $1.
It's $1, yeah. I as well get added whipped cream to my macchiato.
The thing, I don't feel terrible about it. I just think that it's such a bad precedent that this game.
I feel you.
I think if you just soundbited that, I think that honestly is the vast majority of the players' feelings on the matter.
But the problem is, I'm not saying we should boycott buying stuff like in this game. Don't do that. But there's still like people who buy those like $50 like terrible bundles and like all that shit just like to get ahead. And it's like, come on, dude. Like,
I feel personally attacked. I've just admitted I got Sinister.
Huh?
I bought I told you about the Sinister deal earlier. I feel attacked now.
I'm not even talking about that though. I'm not even talking about I'm not even talking about getting a character. Like, you know what I mean? I'm talking about people that like will like buy every single thing in the store just to get. Good for them. They can do it. That's nice, but
I really want to do an experiment one time. I just like finding out how much it would cost if you bought every single offer in the game for a month. How much would it cost? God. I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying, like, I'm curious as to what the offer would be.
$10,000 at least. At least
easy.
At least. There's no doubt.
Very curious as to how that would go down. But anyway,
I'm gonna actually add up everything right now in the store just for today. Keep talking though.
Go for it. All right, moving on. So we're talking. There was a long recap of what's happened in the last 2 weeks.
It's been a long 2 weeks.
it has been a long 2 weeks, which we understand that's what happens. So what's coming? We kind of briefly talked about that. Was the new Asgardians are coming. 3.7 drops. We think on the 12th. I want to say is when that happens.
The Heimdall event campaign starts on the 13th.
Yeah, so 12th or 13th or something like that. Essentially, it's the 12th for us because it's at 8 p.m. Eastern, so it'd be 13th for you guys over there across the pond. But I think 3.7, I believe, is dropping on Tuesday or Thursday, probably one of the two. So we'll see what happens with all that. So I can't wait until we can't get a download all for all assets. But we are getting. We are getting an equip all for characters. So I can't wait for hearing people complain about that. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be.
I didn't want to equip all of my purple level gear. I don't have any ABCs left. Says.
I know. I can't wait. It's mainly for let's be honest. It's really mainly for tiers 1 through 8. After that, no one gives a shit.
I'm so happy. Like really happy with that. It's actually a good feature.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, so the next segment is our love it and hate it segment. So we stopped talking about what we love and hate about the game. So Metal, what do you love about the game as of right now?
I love my alliance, dude. My alliance are great.
Community is great. I agree with you 100%.
I've genuinely we joked with it within the alliance, but there's a group of maybe 10, 12 of us who talk every day. And they're going to listen to this and they're going to know who I'm talking about. And guys, I love you. You're fantastic. If we ever go, if this game dies or we quit this game or whatever, I know these are people I'm going to be talking to for the next 10 plus years of my life. That's
very sweet.
What I will say, you guys should since merging of our cluster alliance with Max Alliance, we've had a lot more community aspect within our Discord. You guys should at least come hang out in our Discord as well, because I feel like you guys would be a cool addition to just come hang out and chill and chat and whatever. I'll send you an invite. You guys can pass along if you want to. We have cool. We have a good time. Anyway, that just reminded me of that. So,
we have currently we're playing fantasy NFL within our alliance. There's 12 of us in a NFL fantasy NFL league. So yeah. That's just one of the things we get up to. That's great. Dom and I are in a podcasting fantasy league that we forgot that we were part of until week 6. So
hey, so real quick, if you wanted to buy everything right now, and let's say you didn't have any power cores for the power core offers too, it would cost you $664 right now.
Holy shit!
Right now, and that's for one day, and that's buying if something has 2 offers at this price, if you do it twice or 3 or 4 times. $664, and if you didn't have any cores to buy the power core offers.
How much would it be if you added up all the cores too?
Oh,
if you because it cost you I think it was 4,000 cores is $50, something like that.
4,000 cores is 50. Okay, I didn't think about that. That would probably be less than it would probably be 20, 40. It would be $10 cheap. It would be $10 cheaper. To extend,
so $650 as opposed to $660. All right.
Yes, exactly.
Fair enough. That's great. All right. So, what do you hate about the game right now, Middle?
Red stars. Red stars are the worst thing that's ever happened in the history of Marvel Strike Force, and it's stupid because it's not even the effect it has on the game now. It's the effect that it has moving forwards. ISO 8, they're talking about bringing ISO 8 in, and nobody wants it anyway, but they're going to do it. And
I'm okay with it.
But the problem is, and they've written themselves into a corner because of red stars. Anything that they do with ISO 8 has to be balanced against how red stars works. So they're putting themselves in this situation where every single, because there's a couple of choices when they do ISO 8. They either make them interact with red stars, in which case all of this, you get to build the team that you want to build and upgrade the character that you want to upgrade, is nonsense. Because if you get a damage ISO 8, you find your biggest blaster and you stick it on the guy who's got the most red stars out of your blaster lineup or your brawler lineup or Ultron, because it's Ultron. There's no play there. There's no thinking about it. You just go, I got a 7 red star Rocket Raccoon and a 3-star red star Punisher. Who do I put my damage ISO 8 on? I put it on the 7 red star guy.
Yeah.
Or their other choice is to make ISO 8 not interact with red stars, at which point they piss off all of the whales, everyone who's ever spent money on red stars, who's worked to cultivate this big roster, because suddenly their big red star characters can't be massively buffed by the next step. And that's the corner that they've painted themselves in with the creation of, and the enhanced scarcity of high red stars. It's insane how ridiculous it is to try and get a 6 or 7 red star character. You're playing the lottery.
Yeah,
100%. It is definitely gambling, and I think it's going to be attuned to your first point that it is going to be it's going to apply to base stats, and base stats will be affected by red stars. Personally, that's what I think is going to happen. So,
real quick though, it's not like playing the lottery, because if you play the lottery, you have the chance to win actual money.
That's true. You could change your life with actually playing the lottery, but
then again, on every single game mode, apart from raids, which they're saying isn't tuned to red stars, but we both kind of know that if you've played Ult 7, you know that it almost is red stars on certain characters.
I'm gonna just you're correct. I'm gonna read off something that I encountered the other day. So I got all the way to C10 in Ultimate 7 last night. C10 is I'm just gonna read this off because this is ridiculous. So C10 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 enemies in it. Mostly are Korean Hydra. The lowest character. Yeah, huh?
Korean Hydra. It sounded like you said I heard you say Korean Hydra. It sounded like you said Korean Hydra.
Korean Hydra. The lowest character is, I want to say, 121,000 power, tier 14, and 5 red stars with 7 gold stars. So you can't tell me that that's not tuned to red stars.
Yeah, true.
It's gonna be you can't win against that.
If you had no red stars on your Ult 7 meta team, how do you walk in and fight that compared to someone who's got like a 5 red star scientist supreme and stuff?
You have to revive, and that's unfortunately the game that I don't really want to play.
Exactly.
Well, another way to put it, in War the other day, we hit a defenders team in the enemy bridge, and the defenders team had a 7 red star Daredevil. It had a 7 red star Captain, Miss Marvel, and it had a 6 red star Iron Fist.
Dang.
It took 3 of our biggest players with their biggest single teams. It took me a 340k shield team to just kill Miss Marvel.
I believe it.
Right? Because I don't have 7 red stars on any of my shield guys.
I had 2. On probably the most damage dealing teams, and oh man, I that just makes me upset. So anyway, continuing on with getting things that make us upset. Next segment is red stars and what we pulled this week.
Actually, I got. Let me start this one off. For those of you who don't know, I recently did a Whale Wars with Casino where I smacked him up pretty good. I think it was 91 to 83. But also I was destined to win because I just had so little comparatively. You know what I mean? Like statistically,
everything's an upgrade.
Straight up. You know, and they're big upgrades. I did get a big boy Groot. That was my big. That was my big. I got a 4-star Groot, 4 red star. 4 red star.
Nice.
Yeah.
But you ended up winning at some point, right?
And I beat him.
And you beat him. Oh, there you go. That's really all that matters.
Yeah.
I'll go next. I'll save you for last medal for you, so you can queue up if you need anything. So my biggest pull of this week was a 6 red star Gamora.
Whoa.
Woo!
That's nice. That's actually, Gamora's not super meta, but she's strong.
Yeah, I put her. She's sitting at level 70, tier 11. So I put her on my Ultron team, which is like the highest red stars and leftovers that I don't really have a team for. So which is just shy of 300k. They're at 298k, and so that team does okay in Blitz, but that's pretty much it. So I don't have a meta team over 300k just yet. My highest is Defenders, which is 282. But,
okay, I'm literally scrolling back through my Alliance's brag channel to see what I got at red stars, and I don't think I've got a decent red star pull in since the last time I was on. I got a 5-star Ghost Rider.
That's actually really nice.
Which is nice, bad. Except I don't have him above 3 stars. So
not
make
so
him farmable, please.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I totally understand.
The last time I got a focus red star character was a 4-star Elsa. I walked into the Elsa focus with 3. I pulled 3 red stars. I got a 2 red star Elsa. I got a 3 red star Elsa, and I got a 4 red star Elsa. And went, I'm done. I'm out. Bye. See you later.
Yeah, 4 red stars when I.
The only focus character I have pulled since Elsa was a 2-star Strife.
Dang.
Otherwise, I've washed out of every single focus character I've pulled for. And I had to buy all 3 of my red stars from Sinister from the shop.
Yeah.
I had to buy the 2 red stars I've got on Hela from the shop. I had to buy all 3 red stars I've got from Coulson in the shop. Thank God for this.
I did pull a 5 red star Coulson like when it first dropped, and I just got him to his 5th star right the last day of milestone.
I hate you so much because that's great.
Oh, he's great in war.
Yeah, he's very helpful, and I'll share with you my my team for Blitz for Coulson because he actually does pretty well. I'm actually, as we're talking, I'm doing my Blitz rotation as we do this. So he is my team for Coulson is it's Coulson, Quake, Shield Medic, Black Widow, and Captain America, and they do pretty well. Sure. They don't win all the time, but they're
helps that Coulson literally just deletes a character, right? Like turn 1 ult boom someone.
Not necessarily. Not in Blitz,
I threw him in the Red Star Blitz. My vision's only a 4 whatever. My vision's at a star that doesn't get him into not in the Red Star, but Coulson is. So I threw Coulson in place of Vision for my power armor, and actually is really good. Like hits like a truck in that team with the offense up. If you save his ult for after rescue offense ups, it's like pretty intense.
Oh, there you go. More theory crafting. That's always fun.
Yeah, it's just another big game, I suppose, and that's exactly what they specialize in.
Exactly. Yeah. True. So,
all right. So continuing on, I was saving this for a little bit later. I was hoping we can get into it a little sooner, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this recently released Dark Dimension 3.
Here's funny. I didn't even know that existed.
The whole reason Metal's like putting his head, just banging his head on the table.
I didn't know this was being released. How did I miss this?
We don't know when it's released.
It's the worst decision they've made in terms of end game players since they decided to buff Ult 7 without giving us better rewards. It's probably worse than that as a decision.
How did I miss this? I'm just so confused.
So this was announced. It wasn't officially announced. It was announced in the Strike Time video that they do every 2 weeks through Marvel Strike Force.
I never watched those.
Yeah, no one.
That's why you didn't see it. Yeah, they snuck it out. They pushed it out the back door, which is, I feel, is fitting for the decision that they've made.
Do you know anything about it yet?
Yeah, it sucks. Life sucks. Right, I've been the laser focus guy in my alliance. I was the guy who was like, I'm going to be the first one into Fear the Dark. I'm going to be the first one to get Ultron in my alliance, even though I came in late, started late. And so I've been looking at the third Dark Dimension since they told us it was coming and since T14 was announced. And all of the work that I've done just doesn't help me.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. So to recap for those who don't know what it is, so you're going to need a minimum of 15 characters at tier 14 for this event. Essentially, it's 16 nodes.
Whales rejoice.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. So the first 4 nodes, it can be whatever you want. Could be any team composition you want at tier 14 and level 75. I think, is it level 75 is a requirement or is it just tier 14?
Level 75 has to be a requirement because you can't equip your characters unique to level 75.
Well, there you go. Well, yes. So there's that. And then, so the first 4 or whatever, the next 4. So essentially what will be the first 8 teams. The next 4 will be a global requirement. So you need a certain amount of characters with the global characteristic to do. The next 4 will be cosmic with your characters.
It's not too bad so far, other than the fact that you now need 8 characters up to this point. 10 characters at this point.
Yeah, technically you'll be fine. But the final one, which is kind of the shitty aspect of this whole entire thing with Dark Dimension 3, the final 4 nodes will require a city character trait, which is fucking bullshit.
Don't forget, that's the hardest 4 nodes of the entire run.
Yes, because not only are they city requirements, I'm pretty sure at least 1 or 2 nodes have nothing but Sinister 6 in the nodes.
One node specifically has Rhino as a boss.
Yeah, so GG.
Yeah, jinx.
So I'm going to walk in with my defenders because they're the only city character trait with sustain.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've been. I've been doing a lot of thinking about this. So I'm really, what I'm focusing on is like what can I do to get through the first 8 nodes, which is primarily global. And honestly, like I don't know how to think about. I don't know how about best to come about this. So it's either one of two things. Like, do you focus on what can get it done effectively, or do you just focus on what can get in there quickest? So like the quickest you can get in there, I think I had it written down. Let's see if I still have the note somewhere. So the quickest I thought with like the global characteristic that I could actually do a decent. So it essentially has a bio, skill, tech, and mutant and mystic would be Captain America, Shield Trooper, Ultron or Scientist Supreme, Sabretooth or Phoenix, and Juggernaut. Those are the characters that I think would essentially in those slots, whatever. If you really want, so Trooper has no tier 14 requirements, so you can tier 14 him with just tier 13 gear.
Trooper is your free bingo square.
Yeah, it definitely is the free bingo square. I think it probably what I would do if I was just saying like I want to get in there and get something blah blah blah. It would be fine. It'd be Captain America, Trooper, Ultron, Sabretooth, and Juggernaut while all working on Phoenix.
So my original plan, when I thought it was one team, was to go for 5 characters, one from each skill node, one from each like source node. So 1 tech, 1 mutant, 1 bio, 1 mystic, so on, 1 skill, and it was to pick 5 characters with different uniques from each other. So my original planned team was Minerva, Shield Trooper, Phoenix, Jessica Jones, and Thanos, which would give you a buff cleanser and debuffer in Jessica. Gives you a tank in Thanos. It gives you Phoenix, who it wasn't going to be something that would clear multiple nodes in one day because Phoenix will die, but it was one of those ones that it will guarantee you will do a node a day.
Yeah, you could chip away at it. Yeah, for sure. And that's what I was thinking about. It's just mainly figuring out a team that could just chip away at it. It's not going to be great. It's going to take you a long time to do, but at least you could get working on it. And I thought about whether or not I want to do that. I know Chewburger over at Alternate Reality came out with a really good infographic to talk about what they think is the best teams that could get the job done in entirety, which we can put a link to in below. But I really think that it really just comes down to personal preference and what you have with red stars, all that stuff, and it's just it's just not going to be fun. Nope. It's just not going to be fun, and it's going to take a long time. Even if you were to buy all, it's something like around 1,066 is how many requirements you need just for the basic, like the lowest tiered people or something like that.
Jeez.
Well, my argument as to why this is nonsense, right, is how much I've been buying gear. I've been buying T14 gear every single time it's appeared in the store. I've been buying it every time it's appeared in the war. So how many pieces of T14 gear do you have unlocked so far?
Yeah.
Well, I have. Well, I mean, equipped on characters or just.
Well, you can equip if you wanted to.
Right. Well, right now I have 2 pieces on Ultron, and I have a piece on Minerva. I have her ultimate or her unique gear. So
her unique doesn't count because it doesn't use any T14 stuff, though. It just uses T13.
I probably I don't have anything at the moment because it's all tier 13 stuff.
Exactly. So you've been buying. It takes like 15 pieces of one piece of equipment, and then 10 pieces of another piece of equipment. I've been talking to the guys from Pants of Hulk. I don't know if you're aware of. They opened up a Discord for sharing of stuff, and they were saying that one of the guys I was talking to there who know, obviously they're the whales, right? They know the guys who spend the money on the game. And he was saying, I know a guy who's got 3 characters at T14. And this is a guy who whales that, he's got 2, maybe 3 characters. And one of them Shield Trooper, which barely counts.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So if the whales aren't even nearly ready for this, and there's no way for the whales to get ready for it because you can't, other than core refresh in the store, that's the only choice. That's the only route. There's nothing you can in game to farm. There's nothing in game to focus on. It's just a case of playing the gear lottery, seeing what turns up, and hoping that you have walk. I mean, adding them to the war store helped a little bit.
Yeah.
But the war credits are already, so even if you saved all your war credits for them, you can't have enough in a war cycle, even if you won every war, to buy all the ones that appear in the shop.
Yeah, we've been winning. We haven't lost a war yet, so I've been in the new alliance. So it's like, which is nice, but still, yeah, they're 1,400 for 2, which is
and you need 15 for 1 piece of gear.
Yeah, so 75 for the expensive people like Ultron, 75 of each category. 3 categories. Well, so it's 45, 75, and 75, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, it's something insane. It's crazy.
A lot. It is a ton.
And now you need 15 of them, and you have to spend, so far, unless they release a new city team, which is possible. I mean, maybe the hand rework will make hand godly, and suddenly hand will be the go-to for this.
Well, Inhumans could technically be city.
They could, yeah.
So Black Bolt could be a city team, but who knows?
Because Attilan does float over New York. New Attilan.
Yeah. So that'd be interesting. Having Black Bolt be a city character, that might be where it goes. But at the same time, it's like, the only city people right now who are Inhuman is Ms. Marvel and Black Bolt, probably. But we'll see.
Yeah, if the Inhuman team is super good, maybe that's the answer to our prayers. Because right now, if you've tried to take Defenders into Fear the Dark, it's a hopeless endeavor. Never mind the next one up.
It'll take you forever.
Like they get utterly crushed in the early nodes of Fear the Dark. Never mind trying to go into Dark Dimension 3 to do the 4 hardest nodes, one of which is full of Sin 6 because the boss is Rhino.
Yeah, it's just going to be ridiculous and not fun. Not looking forward to that. But you know what? We don't know when it's coming out. My assumption is probably going to come out in the new year, in a sense, because they already said that ISO 8 isn't coming out until February of 2020. So I had assumed that the Dark Dimension 3 would probably come out around the same time ISO 8 is announced, because I'm most likely assuming that ISO 8 is going to play a big part of Dark Dimension 3 and getting ready for that and gearing up for character.
You're going to need it.
You're 100% going to need it.
This is what I think that Fox Nexus missed. They don't understand player morale. They did a good idea. They told us way in advance what kind of archetype characters we're going to need for this mode. But the problem is, they give us this piece of information with their one open hand, and then they've got their other hand behind the back, not telling us like what city characters we're going to have to choose from. So right now everyone is freaking out because, well, we're probably going to have to use Defenders because that's all we've got. Yeah, right. I mean, if they were to say, well, okay, but it's okay that city are the last 4 nodes because we're planning to release this city team, we're planning to do this, which will allow you to get some tier 14 gear in a reasonable time limit. We're trying to do this to increase the income of materials and gold and if they talk to us about everything as a whole, because this isn't part of the whole, and it is easy to flip out and go, this is a stupid idea, because frankly, it's a stupid idea asking us to get 15 T14 characters. It's an insane ask right now. It's
so secretive. Like, what is that about? I feel like it's such a weird...
I don't know. I feel like there's got to be some people in the higher ups just trying to hold things close to the chest. But it's like, do they not understand? Like you said, player morale, public relations. Do they not understand these things? These are things companies deal with on a daily basis.
I know people who have quit. This has been the straw that's broken the camel's back, and they've quit off of this announcement. Maybe they knee-jerked a little bit too hard. Maybe it was just the push they needed to get out of a game that has, honestly, a ridiculously unpleasant interface with their customer base. Because they do. It's all about milk and money at the end of the day. It's a good game. It's worth playing. But they need to be a little less greedy, please, guys. I love the game. I write guides for the game because I love it. But seriously,
we do this podcast because we love the game. We don't do this podcast because we love talking shit. We honestly love the game.
I love talking shit. Let me tell you something. Is there anything I love more in this world? It's talking shit. All right, I'm born to talk shit.
Well, there's that too.
Oh, you kill me, dude. Swear to God.
Anyway, I'm assuming that we're probably a good 6 to 8 months away from realistically being able to do any before. I don't know if it's going to come out in the next 3 months, but I think we're at least 6 to 8 months before anybody's realistically geared up for Fear the Darkness. So I really think that's their year 2 strategy, or year 3, I guess, at this point.
But the thing is, because they won't talk to us, you can't equip any of this T14 stuff on your characters, because right now, Jessica Jones is the best choice for City because she's good in the general nodes as well because she's a debuffer and a cleanser and stuff. But we don't know what's going to be happening in 6 months' time. There might be this new in Crystal or whatever if she comes for. I believe it's Crystal, Gorgon, and someone else. I can't remember who said the third one was. Karnak, maybe for the Inhumans.
Couldn't tell you.
As rumored, maybe one of those is a fantastic debuffer and buff cleanser and stuff, and it's going to push Jessica Jones right out. And because they won't talk to us, we're in a world where we can't equip any of this gear and prepare our teams and give them trial runs and see how they do in other modes and stuff like that. Because I can't put all that gear on Jess and then go, oh, well, there's the better City character.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even do that anyway, especially for City. Like, honestly, if you're going to do something like Ultron's definitely worth putting all your T14s on because Ultron is one of the best characters. He is the best character in the game, and therefore, like, you should take him to tier 14 if you can. But at the same time, like, work on teams that are going to make your Ultimate 7 teams better. Really is what I'm focusing on. So, like, I'm working on Ultron, I'm working on Minerva, I'm working on Scientist Supreme, which is oddly weird for me to say that, but it's just like,
if you'd have told you that like 400 days ago, you're going to really want to work on Scientist Supreme, you'd have been like, shut up.
Yeah, people would have laughed us out of the podcast world.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like I'm working on Ultimate 7 because really, in a realistic sense, like, that's what's here, that's what's now. If I can work those characters into a Fear the Darkness team, then, or well, I don't know what they're going to call it, Dark Dimension 3. Fuck the darkness, I don't know what it's going to call it. But like, in that
Wail the darkness.
Wail the darkness, yes.
Savage.
Embrace the darkness. Anyway, we'll see what they end up calling it. But at the same time, it's like, I'm just doing what I can now to make my Ultimus 7 team the best team it can be, because really that's what's here now. And if we can push to 100% on Ultimus 7, that's going to help us more overall than it would be for like just freaking out about a mode that's not even here yet and we don't know 100% about what's going on with it. So,
oh yeah, like, don't get me wrong, like, the first day I saw it, I was like, this is awful, this is a terrible decision.
Yeah, you messaged me, it's the worst thing in the world.
it's still the worst business decision they've made because they don't talk to us, they don't give us all of the picture, they don't even give us half of the picture. It's I have now I've calmed down a second and went, okay, there's the knee-jerk reaction is this is bad, but it is still bad. It's just bad in a different way. It's bad because they are hurting the morale of the community by being unnecessarily vague and not giving us the information that we need to make smart decisions.
The funny thing about this, and like people being pissed about it, is I'm so far away from it, it's not even a speck of my conscience. Like, I'm not even at Fear the Darkness yet. That's the funny thing. So for like players like me who are like that medium level, like I just hit 2 million CP the other day. Like, that was huge for me. You know what I mean? For me, it could matter. It couldn't matter any less.
I think it was for me because Fear the Darkness was such a huge goal for me that now it's gone. I do feel like there's something in the game that's missing.
Sure.
There's that thing to. So I was over the moon when Dark Dimension 3 got announced because it was something to start working towards again. It was I like setting stuff up and going, I'm going to focus on this, and this. This is what we're going to do. This is the team we're going to build. We're going to get from here to here. This is how we're going to do it. I love that. Like, I hope it comes across in the guides. The guides are very much put forward in a way that is, I want to build this team and we're going to do this with it and this is what we plan to achieve. And I love the planning aspect of Fear the Dark, and I do feel like something like that's missing. But because the requirements are so wild for Dark Dimension now, like the big planning for Fear of the Dark was essentially, can I get 12 uniques for 5 different characters?
Right.
This is magnitudes more complex.
It's true.
Yeah. But it's just like, we'll see what happens.
I guess we'll see. Yeah, that's one of the things.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see with what happens with all the characters and what they have announced and whatnot, the timetable they have and what the new characters they're announcing, because they're still announcing 4 new characters a month. Like, there still might be plenty of time for it all to
level them up.
Yeah, let's not even get into that. My God. Not to mention all the gold requirements to get all your characters up that, it's just going to take, forever. Maybe we'll get level 80 by the time that, Dark Dimension 3 comes out. Who knows?
It took me a week and a half to save up enough gold to bring Falcon from 60 to 70 to take him to T13. and it made me really sad.
I understand. It would make me really sad as well. So, yeah. All right. Well, that was that fun discussion. It's all good.
I just want them to talk to us.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I really think they should, because that's really, what it's about. Is like we complain because we love the game, and that's really what it comes down to. Is like we love it. And we
I've had to, the amount, when you're talking about going back on my Reddit history and seeing if I was this big positive force, like one of the things that I've espoused a lot on, like when you see these, people come in with genuine complaints and they have these really well structured complaints, and you get this one dude at the bottom who goes, "Just shut up, stop complaining, go away. If you don't like it, quit."
Yeah, right, exactly.
I have massive issues with that. Maybe because I spent 5 years of my life working in a complaints team for a bank. But, so I got a lot of complaints. I dealt with complaints every day. But I understand how complaints are actually good for business.
Yeah,
because you don't know. If you're a big company, you don't know you're doing something wrong until someone goes, "I've got beef with this because this has affected me negatively in this way, and I don't like it." And then you go, "Oh, well, hang on. If we're doing something wrong, we can fix that." Or maybe it's intentional, maybe we can't. But everyone who tries to get on the Reddit and go, "Shut up, stop complaining, quit," they don't understand that they're hurting the game. Like, if you look back at a lot of the big changes, like changes to Blitz, changes to Gold Orbs, these little changes are because Foxnext are reading our feedback and going, well, they don't like that, so they should change. People who are complaining are doing everyone else a favor.
Yeah.
Because they're drawing attention to things in the game that are wrong.
Yeah, and I even if it's like a tiny bit of feedback, no matter how minuscule it is, like feedback is always good in my opinion. So I think it should be continued, and like we should not just be like, "Oh no, everything's good." Like, keep it as is. Like it should be 100% continued on. So anyway, we'll see what happens in the coming weeks and months and all that fun stuff. So I can't wait. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be shit show.
I'm excited to see everyone else do it.
Eventually, you'll get Ultron just as the first person gets Doom, and you'll be like, "Well, I've got Ultron."
Right, exactly. Dude,
Ultron's be like, "I don't understand. Bro. Like, why are you so up in arms against about Ultron?"
I have got an Ultron guide out there for you, Ash, so it's available. It's already there.
I'm very excited to read it. I'm not going to read it until I actually can use it.
Yeah, you'll be good to go. All right, so continuing on, because we're way over at this point. Any team advice that you can have with all this craziness about Dark Dimension 3, Ultima 7, Greek Raids, Arena, Blitz, anything that you guys can chime in, or Metal, anything you can chime in for team advice?
Build Supernatural. They're so much fun. Like I think I talked about this last time as well, but the more I play with them, the more I'm seeing their potential. They almost feel like the new Power Armor to me, in that they counter so many meta teams and have so few count. There's a couple of teams that they don't do well against. Like they don't do great against defenders, and they don't do great against aim, but they can kind of mess through and just about make it. But if you're in war and you're looking, and everyone's got like we've all got an X-Men team, so we all got to counter Coulson, but now who do we counter X team with? Supernatural. If you're willing to put a few T4 investments into them, are so good against so many common teams. Yep. And I know obviously I've got a guide coming out, and I'm totally not trying to hype up my coming guide.
Totally a promotional market space, so by all means promote it.
I would definitely, they would be my next team almost certainly to pump into if I had Ghost Rider. I'm at 68 out of 100 shards for Ghost Rider, which sucks. I'd buy him in a heartbeat if they had shards out for him.
Well, weirdly enough, Ghost Rider's nice and all, and he's cool, but he's the glue that makes the team work is Strange and Mordor.
Sure. Who do you think? Hela?
I don't know. Hela would work. Loki is really good. You ideally want the 5th because it activates a lot of the passives on other characters. Like Scarlet Witch's ult only brings defense down when you've got a full squad of 5 Supernatural. So Ghost Rider is there to make up the numbers, and he does do a decent amount of damage. He's a nice character. He's fun.
Yeah.
But genuinely, the one that really Strange is the engine behind that team.
Yeah.
Because
my Strange and my Mordor are okay too. That's funny.
When you get T4s in that guy, like in his passive, he's basically unkillable.
Strange.
Yeah.
You walk into any team that uses buffs, and within seconds, he's got 20 stacks of deflect and has healed to full health. It's like, oh, so how do we kill him then? You just don't.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I never really looked at this team. Now looking at it, my Mordo is 5-star, 2 red star. My Strange is 4-star, 4 red star. Scarlet Witch is 5-star, 4 red star, and Elsa's 4-star, 3 red star.
That's pretty good, man. I would start to build. I mean, they've been on my roster. Damn. They've been on my want list to build, but like I'm waiting on. I'm gonna go get Asgardians, and then once Asgardians are done, then I'm gonna switch to Supernatural. It's just like Ghost Rider is still at 3 stars, 3 red stars for me. Everyone else is 4 red stars or more. So it's fine.
Well, from experience, they can punch up light against Coulson. They destroy Ultron teams. They destroy Shield. They destroy Power Armor.
All right, fine. I'm going into this. This is my next team.
All right.
And you know what? Like I said, I think it was one of my alliance mates said it when I was talking about it with him. The one thing that the real selling point for me is that they're a team that you genuinely want to take off auto for Blitz and actually play. Yeah. Because their skills are really cool. It's fun to use them.
True.
And
all right, I'll give it a go.
So I think anything that makes you not auto battle your Blitz fights because they're fun. That's a selling point.
I think you're right. I feel that definitely. I feel that hard.
Yeah, I'll have to give that a go because I have enough T4s right now to do something. I don't know if I can T4 his thing. Just Strange's T. God, I can't speak right now. I can't T4 his passive just at the moment because I have so many other things to work on at the moment. But I might give that some good.
Some good
thoughts
from TLC
coming up in the future. So, all right, well, the final segment of the night is the favorite character. So, Metal, what is your favorite character at the moment?
His favorite character is the Supernatural dorks. Clearly,
Supernatural. But you know what? I love Sinister. Sinister is so much fun. He was worth every piece of effort and every piece of gear, everything I've put into him. And I haven't got Strife yet. I'm waiting for the Blitz for him. But I've got a buddy who's got Strife who is saying that Strife is one of the best tanks currently in the game.
Really, I heard that he's really squishy.
He's squishy because people tend to have him at low stars, though, right? The point is, if you look at how his abilities interact, he stacks self heals, he stacks deflects, which are deflects are one of the best.
Sure, tank. Yeah, that's why I'm excited for Sif.
Overlook deflects. If deflects are like, defense up's nice, but then you get hit by an Ultron and it doesn't matter because of ult. Whereas deflects still take 25% damage off of the Ultron ult.
Yeah.
So apparently Strife is a really good tank and I'm looking forward to him. But Sinister is he's added something new to the game. Like the clone and stuff, like I said, it's just insane. Just going, oh, you've got a Dark Phoenix. Well, now I've got 2 Dark Phoenixes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I had a blitz. No, actually I had a war where like I went up my Marauders against their Marauders and I cloned the Sinister and I almost had enough to clone another Sinister. And I had 3 Sinisters, but I only had 2 and that was a lot of fun. So I was Sinister.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
All your Sinister are blind to me. Yes, exactly. So I'm bringing that OG meme.
I like it.
Cool.
I said, I'm so glad I went in on him because mine's 50k now and he's absolutely monstering arena.
Rad. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, he's only like 20k. I only have a level 55, so I've just been waiting on that kind of stuff to finish up. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. So anyway, Metal, thank you very much for joining us again this week of the Overachievers Gaming Podcast. You can find, we totally didn't do any of our socials at the beginning of this podcast. That's okay, y'all know where we're at. You can find us on Instagram at og.podcast. Our Instagram is og.podcast. Oh my God. Our Twitter is overachieversp. Our website is beingoverachiever.com where you get this episode and every episode in the future where we talk about, video games, what we love about them, hate about them, sometimes, beer stuff, cigar aficionado stuff, whether or not we like tap water versus well water,
I love
that kind of stuff.
So different stuff there.
And Metal, you can find Metal streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/FullMetalCOS, as well as on Reddit at the same.
And don't forget to check the subreddit for all his guides.
Yeah, check the Marvel Strike Force subreddit for all of Full Metal's guides, and also he has another podcast which you can plug right now if you want.
Yeah, the Rebel Alliance podcast. We talk about Blood Bowl if you're into it at all. I'm streaming more than I have been recently because we're in our playoffs for my Blood Bowl league. So if you're at all interested in watching online Goblin football, as someone described it, come check us out.
That's hilarious.
Rad. Awesome.
And I just want to say thanks for having me on, guys, because it's just so much fun hanging out and shooting the breeze with you guys.
Yeah, we try to have a good time. We like to talk about this game because we love it. We love and hate it. But yeah, so we'll see.
I mean, the funny thing is, I think the last bit here to close this out is, regardless of how many things we have to say in regards of like problems with it or critiques or whatever, we still play it every day.
Still play it every day, whether or not I get yelled at for it.
My goddamn screen time keeps popping up every week, and I'm like, don't show me that number. Don't show me that number.
I don't want to know. Great. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Peace.